Let me share my screen. Not this. Okay. So welcome everybody to today's presentation. Today we're going to be presenting the new JMAG-Express. Actually, I'm going to be starting from the JMAG modeler itself because the new JMAG-Express gives you the capability of actually creating your own templates and importing them into Express to be able to use them quite quickly. So one has to think of JMAG-Express as a new interface to JMAG-Designer. It's if you're familiar with previous versions, JMAG-Express was sort of a separate tool, and it wasn't really related. And usually, you would just start your machine design with JMAG-Express and then move on to JMAG-Designer. Now, JMAG-Express is sort of a new interface for JMAG-Designer, where you have a lot more capabilities. So as you can see here, I have my rotor model, something I have created. I've imported into JMAG. One of the new features is that now I can set up the magnetization direction directly inside of the JMAG modeler. This will also help if I am changing the number of slots and poles, or changing the number of magnets, that the periodic boundary, the magnet directions sort of stay the same between different models. Also, one thing that I would like to highlight here, implemented into the JMAG library, are all of the old templates that were available in JMAG-Express. So now you actually have them within the geometry library itself. Okay, so first of all, to import a model like this inside of JMAG-Express, we first have to add to the geometry library here, and then just give it a name. I'm just going to give it to Express Rotor. Oops, spelling. And then I have to give it a tag of motor brushes IPM inner rotor. So it's it just has to have a tag so that it actually organizes it into the correct position. Press OK. I actually have this saved somewhere else. I'm going to cancel for now just to not delete the one that I have. And then afterwards, I can open JMAG-Express 20.2. As you can see, the interface is a bit new from the older one. Here I have some of the recent templates that I was working on. If I check the options here, now I have the capability of actually using more than one core to do my calculations. The number of parallel jobs, so you can actually create efficiency maps within JMAG-Express, and this is the number of parallel jobs you can create. For my case, because I have one on this machine, one transient license, I'm only allowed to have one, but you can go up to 6. And then, of course, you can, again, this is because this is my laptop and I only have one license, it's just offering one, but you can actually go a bit more. This actually increases, like, yeah, this is basically just to increase the calculation time, to decrease calculation time, sorry. Cancel for now, and then I'm going to start building up my model. So I'm going to do model combination here. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the motor that I've already created, the rotor, but I'm going to be using a basic stator core that that is just available, and then I'm going to modify it afterwards. And press OK. Then I'm just going to have to link some of the elements. So actually the part IDs are actually here, sort of already linked. You can press next. Then the periodic boundary, I just have to relink it to the correct one. And then I have to set up magnet directions here for the first, and then for the second, and then OK. going to take a moment for it to open. Okay, so as I previously mentioned, JMAG-Express now is a new interface for JMAG-Designer. And what is the goal here actually? So the main idea is to offer people an easier way to do machine design without having all of the experience that usually is needed. So here I have a very basic shape, and if I am somebody who doesn't have much FEM experience, I'm just going to be knowing what are my targeted values, what are parameters that I'm looking for. And here what I do is that I just input some target values, so the sizing of my motor. So I have an output of 75 kilowatts, maximum torque of 200, maximum speed of 10,000 RPM, peak voltage of 400, and a maximum current of 200. It even gives you warnings if you're putting unrealistic values. And what JMAG-Express is going to do now, it's actually going to change the size of the motor, number of poles, number of slots, according to the sizing parameters that I have input. So if you can see, as you can see here, to reach this, the number of slots have been changed from 24 to 48. And JMAG-Express automatically calculates it itself. Here are the dimensions that I think you should be familiar with. It's just inputting the dimension, number of poles, number of slots, the tube depth. You can change all of these parameters as much as you want. Of course, it's gonna again complain if you're giving something unrealistic. Then I'm gonna go into the materials tab. And one of the nice features that we have is that you have all of the material from the material database, so it's not limited as before. At the same time, you can actually, if you have any custom magnets that or custom steel sheets that you have created within JMAG-Designer, you can implement them into JMAG-Express. So you actually have much more flexibility than before regarding your machine design. I'm going to leave everything to the default settings, but the same applies also for the core. Yeah, here you can also input custom steel. Then you have a preview of your winding. This is nothing new. And then lastly, the drive. One of the main things that I want to highlight here is that JMAG-Express does several calculations now. It's just not just a basic 1 second calculation that was before. So now you can calculate demagnetization, induced voltage, machine characteristics, cogging, torque, and torque ripple. For now, I'm going to start with just machine characteristics, which is going to give me the torque speed curve, the efficiency map, and the output power curve. I cheated a bit and sort of prepared the calculations in advance, just for the demo's sake. And if I go here on this machine, this is actually how, after it finishes the calculation, this is the same machine, same motor. And as you can see here, I have my output torque speed curve, I have my output power, and then I have my efficiency map. The efficiency map generated here is actually the same efficiency map as the reduced order model you can create in JMAG-Designer. So let me just open a click here. Takes a second sometimes. Oh, it's not opening. I'm clicking it wrong. Yeah, there it is. So yeah, now we have an efficiency map. I can change the minimum to 75%, just to make it look a bit nicer. And I can actually afterwards output a CSV file with all the efficiency map points. or export this as an RTT file, which I can use then in the new integrated circuit feature. So it's actually quite flexible what you can now do with the efficiency map, and it's not just an efficiency map you get and that's it. Moving back to Express. So now our goal is going to be to actually increase the output power. So something basic we can do is just increase the magnet thickness of the lower magnets here. So I go to dimension, then I go here. Wait, where was it? Yeah, this one here. And then I change it, for example, to 5. So very thick. Takes a second. And now I've changed the thickness of the magnets, and I can re-evaluate again. After it's actually this button here, sorry, I didn't mention it last time. Once I click on this button, I actually have the second curve here. I can see my output, sorry. You can see that my output power has improved, or it's getting closer to the output, the desired value that I need. And I'm getting a second efficiency map, which is the efficiency map of the second case here. So it's similar to what you did before in Express, where it's actually just changing some dimensions and seeing how that affects the result in a parametric way. Last thing we're going to evaluate is the torque ripple. If we evaluate the torque ripple here, we can check. So yeah, basically we just want to calculate the torque ripple, and once I click on this button, I can just add the result and check which, and it goes much faster than just evaluating everything from the beginning. So if I check my graphs here, I have my torque ripple. I add it. I can see the torque ripple of both cases. What I can also do is that I can check a contour plot for the flux density here. I can go then, this is case 1, case 2, I can go to case 1 here, for example. It's going to open a window inside of Designer, showing all the calculations that I've done, having, for example, here the torque. And if, for example, I want to test what will happen if I add a skew to the rotor, I can just quickly here do a skew graph, skew angle 7 degrees, change it to maybe 3 steps, but okay. I can see here, I put them side to side and change the range to be equal. So this is up to 125. This one is minimum of like 65. And you can see here that the torque ripple has improved a lot. And the main message here is that you can actually, from Express, go quickly into Designer, see if you do some minor changes. You can seamlessly check a few things quickly. The last thing that I wanted to comment on regarding the new Express is actually the capability of switching to Designer directly. And if I click on Open in Designer here, what it's going to do, it takes a second. It's going to save first. So what's it going to do is that it implements all of the studies that I've already run. So if I had clicked, for example, on the cogging torque analysis, I would have gotten some result in the no load, but I focused on machine characteristics and torque ripple. So I have a result in the load calculation. I have a result in the efficiency map calculation. And it's the same result. So as I've mentioned several times now, it's mainly a new interface for JMAG-Designer. And the whole goal here is just to make it easier for non-FEM experts to quickly go into JMAG and then quickly design some to quickly change some design shapes and test the effect of each one of them. And yeah, if think I would be open for questions now. If anybody has any questions, please write them in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for the presentation. So yeah, you can ask a question from the UVA platform or directly from Zoom. I can see two questions on the UVA platform. Maybe one is dedicated to Frederic, and it's about the available presentation on the website. Maybe you can reply it, Frederic, later. Another one is concerning the temperature. So is there any insight that you could provide regarding the temperature of the design, because that will affect the performance and the efficiency of the machine? So maybe Ahmed, could you introduce maybe temperature in this new Express, or yeah?
I think for now not yet. I think this is planned for future versions. Nicholas, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right. So the current Express, the new Express, will not yet include the thermal behavior of the model. So so don't worry, you still have it in the Express Classic. So we didn't delete that as an option if you want to use the what we call classic version of Express, the older version. So, but the thermal aspect will be implemented in the future. So don't worry about this, but just ask you to be slightly patient. Sorry.
Okay, thank you. So just to summarize, please, in case you need temperature, please use the previous version of Express, and it will come in the new one soon. Okay, maybe I have questions regarding the calculation. It seems that some calculations, so now full finished element calculation are run under Designer. I guess there are some assumption in behind. I mean, mesh, time step, and etc. All those are done automatically by the new version of Express inside Designer. What kind of assumption? How can we check that? I would like to know if the user has the possibility to tune that, or it is just simulation knowledge that are given by JMAG and we cannot tune that.
So at the moment, you cannot tune those, but you cannot tune those directly inside Express. Let's say. So we made sure that all the configuration will have an appropriate mesh and an appropriate number of time steps. Like if you can see here for the torque ripple that Ahmed run, we have like 97 steps, which basically is in his machine. I think he has the 6th harmonic, and we want to have like at least 16 steps per slots. So we ensure that we are able to correctly model the torque ripple using those kind of rules. And I think those have been rules that we have been using and recommending for quite a while as well. And the mesh as well is also created automatically. And you will see it will always use the periodic mesh in order to ensure again the symmetry of the torque ripple. So you obviously in Express itself, you don't have access to customization too much because we don't want to confuse for the moment the user that has no knowledge about FEA into too much details. But actually, once you created your model and you want to have a more detailed calculation and have more access, as Ahmed showed, you can very quickly go into Designer, and then afterward you're free to continue into Designer to do your calculations. But in Express, we try to keep the number of variable that the users change to a minimum, so to make his life a bit easier.
Okay, thank you. There is one more question from the Zoom interface. Could you please tell us about some loss calculation, error loss, eddy current, and other losses? Yeah, I guess this is using the classical one, which are the most quickest, and then you can also tune that in Designer.
Yes, exactly. So they use the since everything is pure FEA, it basically uses the normal iron loss. I would need to double check maybe for the ROM how we calculate the. At that moment I just forgot about how we calculate, but I could come back to Abdullah Sanchal afterward on this. And afterward, for the efficiency map, you have access again, like in Designer, to approximation, so algebraic approximation of PWM losses and magnet losses by, like you have in Designer, by changing the DC voltage and the PWM frequency. So those are algebraic or analytical approximation of the losses that you can have. But for the ROM, I will come back to him directly if he wants more precision.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, basically it uses the classical Bertotti based. Yes. And then if you need the more advanced, like hysteron play model or eddy current in steel plate, then you tune that in Designer. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Maybe Ahmed, you talk about also about efficiency map. It seems there are also some reduced order model. Could you give us some some details about maybe that could make the introduction of your next presentation also, because we will have also a presentation about the enhancement of the efficiency map. Maybe you could just give just first information.
Basically, in JMAG-Designer now, there are 3 types of efficiency maps. So you have the ROM, which is reduced order model. This is the one that is actually run here in JMAG-Express, and it is also available in JMAG-Designer, which is actually this map calculation here. If I click on edit, you can see reduced order model. The second one is speed priority mode. I think for all JMAG users, they should know. So this is basically an FEA calculation calculated over several current and phase calculation points. And then you have some frequency scaling regarding the losses and the voltages. And then the last method is actually accuracy priority mode, which is, so ROM and speed priority mode have their limitations. And also when it comes to accuracy, they're very accurate, but if you want to reach the 1% accuracy range, you should actually go for accuracy mode, which is a full FEA calculation with no limitations. And you can actually combine the accuracy priority mode with a control circuit, for example, or with or a combination of JMAG RT and control circuit, which makes it go a bit faster than which makes it actually go a bit faster. I think, yeah, that will be it for now, and we're going to go into more detail on this tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow, same time. So maybe we will have some more technical details about that from you as well, Ahmed.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. So I hope you've got some quick overview of this JMAG-Express, new JMAG-Express interface. Feel free to try it and to come back to us with any comment or question if needed. We'll be pleased to help you. Thank you, Nicolas, as well. And please join the next session in now 1 minute. And yeah, you need to go to the UVA platform to start the next session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicolas. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.